In this video tutorial, we're going to see how you can protect your project before deploying it. Firstly, we're going to open the demo project. This demo project comes pre-installed with XtraBuild Designer. Now that the project is opened, you have two ways of protecting it. You can either go to the settings and set a password for your project. This is where you're entering the password, and over here you're confirming it. Also, make sure that you're following the recommendations for the password strength. These are indicated in the small tooltip that appears when you're hovering over the Enter Password section. A word of advice is that you'd better back up your project before setting up the password. When you're setting up a password for your project, the following thing happens. You can send it to a person, and when he or she will open the project in XtraBuild Designer, will be required to enter the password. The same thing will happen at your end after you set up a password for your project. So a word of advice before setting up the password for your project is to back up your project. When you're reopening your project, you will be requested to enter the password. So in case you're forgetting it, you will have your backup. Okay. The second option to protect your project is by licensing it, by pressing on the licensing button. Licensing will allow you to run your projects on computers that have XtraBuild runtime installed on some conditions. Those conditions can be limited by time or limited by hardware. For example, if you want to define a list of computers that are allowed to run your project, this is the place where you can do that. Just make sure you have the computer ID, which is generated by XtraBuild runtime, which is installed on the end user's computer. Paste it in this field, give it a name, and also make sure that you set this to active. This is all that you need to do. Save, and that's it. Let's say you want to set up some time limits on your project. Simply go to the Time Limit tab, and you have two main areas to work with over here: the trial license expiration and the commercial license expiration. By default, the trial license expiration is set to project never expires, but you can change that. Let's say we want to set this project to expire on a particular date. After this date passes, your user can run the project only if he or she buys a commercial license. And this is the section where you can set that up. Simply click on the plus sign, give it a name. Let's say customer 1. You have the license key over here generated, and you can set this license to never expire. You can also add a different one. Also, we need to give it a name. And we can set this to expire at a particular date. This way, you have a very good control over your project. Now, let's have a look at another great feature of XtraBuild Designer. You can define users for your project, and you can do that by accessing the Users tab in the Security section. From here, you can create users, provide passwords. Also, you can set the password to never expire or give a particular date of expiration for the password. You can also enforce the password strength with different criterias over here. Also, you can give a particular profile to your user, and profile rights are managed from the Rights tab, also in the Security section. For example, if you want to provide some special administrative rights to your users, you can do that from this section. This is a very good way of managing users and how your project and database is being accessed. Let's save and close this. And this is how you protect your project before deploying it. I hope this has been informative for you, and I would like to thank you for watching.